Hi, everybody. I'm Elysabeth Alfano, CEO of VegTech Invest. It is great to be back with you on the Plant-Based Business Hour. Oh my gosh. If it were not for a very funky election, because you never know what's going to happen day by day, AI is taking up all the oxygen in the room, again, except for that funky election. So I thought I would bring on an AI expert today to see how AI is really impacting the future of food. With that, I want to bring on today's guest. Joining me from vacation, what a diehard commitment he has given us today, Steve Gundrum, the Chief AI Officer at Mattson and Company. Steve, I want to welcome you from your vacation, and I can't wait to dive in. How are you today?
Great. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm in sunny, hot Southern California. It's 104 out. So,
where in sunny, hot California?
Oh, near Temecula.
Oh, my word. Wow, you are frying up there then.
Yes, we are.
Oh my gosh. Well, for those who might not know, maybe we can start the conversation today with what does Mattson do already? Before we bring in AI, what does Mattson Company do, and how are you already serving the food industry?
Sure. We're the largest food and beverage innovation firm in the country. We've been doing this for a very long time, almost 47 years now. And we invent the future of food. We do everything from new product strategy, concepts, consumer insights, a lot of product development, scale up and commercialization. We can go from a white piece of paper all the way to a finished product in the marketplace if someone needs us to do that, or any of those steps in between.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so would it be fair to say that you're a rather large player in the food sector of bringing products to market, bringing products to life?
Oh yeah, we need to do a new count, but we have probably brought to market well over 300 product lines now and over 2,500 SKUs. So our experience is vast and many decades long.
Okay, and you are located on the West Coast, yes?
Yeah, we're close to the San Francisco airport.
Okay, so this is exactly how I think of Mattson, is very cutting edge, already deep in innovation in the food production space, and pretty well known. Clients coming to you to help them really bring to life their ideas and maybe ideate even more with Mattson. But you recently have kind of upped your game. Maybe you can tell us what you've been working on in AI. Both you've got an AI agent, Leo. We're going to have some fun with Leo later. And
Leo.
You also have just AI tools in general. And so I'm curious if you could tell us what you've been working on in AI and maybe give us examples of how you're utilizing that to really change food innovation.
Sure. I'll start at the end and work my way backwards. AI changes everything. There's no part of food and beverage that, if you think forward a few years, that won't be touched by AI in some way. And we're one of the pioneers. There's no question about that. Our conversations with clients around artificial intelligence go back as many as 5 or 6 years, doing work with Google, a very long time client of ours, and discussions with them about utilizing AI across various food initiatives with them. And then in 2022, OpenAI released the Kraken and gave a few of us early access to ChatGPT. I was lucky to be one of them with early access. And then it was in November of 2022, they made it available to the public. And at that point, we were already diving deep into understanding how to use generative AI and apply it to innovation. Of the two types of AI that most people are familiar with, machine learning and generative AI, we're very focused on generative AI, not machine learning, because for every one need for machine learning in the food industry, On a daily basis, there's 1 million needs for generative AI. So that's where we have focused all our attention.
And what do you mean by generative AI? Just for those of us who need to get up on
Sure.
the AI lingo.
Sure. Generative AI is artificial intelligence that's been designed to predict and look forward based on prompts, queries, questions, and data. So connecting vast amounts of information in a very ad hoc fashion, billions and billions of dollars of data science has gone into making generative AI. So it allows us to help predict some of those what if kinds of questions. Machine learning is doing a series of experiments, calculate the return, the results of the experience, process it through algorithms, and then predict what a new experiment should be to kind of help optimize the outcome. Very different than generative AI, which is perfectly suited for our innovation needs and trying to determine what's next with new products.
So, and I apologize, of the two of us, I'm the least techie. So I just want to make sure I understand this. Maybe not your AI tool, but let's say generative AI tool in general. Could it have predicted things like, let's say, there'll be riots in the streets around Black Lives Matter, or there'll be, that's maybe too specific, but could they predict sort of societal breakdowns? Or I know you're specifically focused on food innovation, but I'm trying to gather the power of the AI tools.
Sure. I'll say absolutely not. That is a huge misconception with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence does an outstanding job of looking at this massive, we call it the collective consciousness of knowledge that's sitting out in artificial intelligence training. I'll use food as the example, where there's 66% of every blog that's ever been published has food-related information. So the amount of just consumer information is unbelievable. There's millions of pages of scientific papers and food company websites and the intersection of medicine and food. And it's just millions and millions and millions of pages of information. And generative AI allows you to prompt, which is essentially a query, to help you connect all those dots. So when I say predict, it's like to help you look forward. It's not a prediction. It's not a crystal ball. And in fact, we don't use AI for the answer. We use AI. It's another colleague. It's another seat at the table. It's a way to get a really interesting, really informed perspective on whatever topic we're interested in exploring creatively.
That's interesting. So it's another brain at the table, another creative genius at the table. And it's probably too short of a look back period, but how often have you gone with AI's suggestion, or how has AI's suggestion fared in terms of doing well in market, this kind of thing?
It's too soon to know about connecting the dot directly to something in the marketplace, because again, we don't use it in that way. Think of it as a colleague, where you get people.
Some colleagues are smarter than others.
Say again.
Some colleagues are smarter than others.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, when we're programming our proprietary creative sites using AI, one of the things we do is called the Magnificent Seven. And it's like, if you could handpick the 7 people that you would want involved in your project, who all have 2 or 3 decades of experience, a PhD food scientist, a sales rep who really understands a company like Costco, or somebody who has tremendous amount of direct to consumer marketing experience or deep knowledge about a category. We program all of those experiences and personalities into our models. So when we're using the models, especially the ones we share with our clients, you've got that collective wisdom of what we call the Magnificent Seven. And it just helps you create and identify really great potential opportunities. But it's all about RI. We call it RI plus AI, where RI is real intelligence plus AI. AI is not very useful without great RI. Mm-hmm. So the better you are, the better you are at doing what you do, the more of a subject matter expert you are on your category or the consumer behavior that you're trying to understand, then you unlock all kinds of really creative opportunities and insights using AI. If you use it like search, you get pretty poor results. You need highly optimized AI models, and you have to know how to interact and interface with them to really get something out of it.
So would it be fair to say that you say, okay, we want a consumer research expert at the table, so we're going to build a model?
That's exactly correct. Yep.
To really identify that consumer research perspective by gathering all the data points that might have ever been put out in the universe or in the last 10 years, let's say, about consumers reacting to novel food innovation, or maybe the combination of, if I'm getting too detailed, you let me know, but maybe the combination of, let's say, price and innovation, how much the consumer might want innovation and be willing to pay for it, or might just be price driven, or this kind of consumer. Would it be this detailed?
It can be. I'll give you an example. I'll give you the 3 examples if I had my presentation here that I was showing you. If you wanted, you're familiar with intermittent fasting?
Yes.
So if you went to a search engine like Google and you did a search for intermittent fasting, you would come up with like 600,000 hits. So there's 600,000 index pages that have information about intermittent fasting, but there's no way you could possibly read, digest, and summarize all of that information. But because it was digitally publicly available, it was probably most of it was used for some of the early training of these large language models. So you have access through AI to all of that. I'm a real fan of Indian food, and I recently did a internet search on butter chicken, and it came up with 1.2 billion hits on butter chicken. Recently did a search looking at Blue Zone diets. We came up with about 400,000 index pages of information on Blue Zone diets. So because all of that was digitally and publicly available, it was most of it used for the training of these large language models, along with all these blogs and scientific papers. And most of the models now are connected to the internet in real time, where before, the information lagged a little bit.
Yeah.
It's no longer the case. So when you have the power at your fingertips to build a market structure, what consumers who are, highly interested in Indian food and also Blue Zone diets, and, you start combining all these elements, you can data mine, you can get tremendous insights into consumer behavior, and then ultimately some really great new product ideas, when you learn to use the models.
Mm-hmm. And that's really what it is, data mining, and then the real intelligence in the room takes that data mining, and that's where the ideation comes, or is it also
Yes.
AI ideation?
There's a little of both, but we put the human first. There's no question about it. So the way we have found AI to be extremely powerful is to take someone's starting idea and let our AI models amplify those ideas, explore them further creatively, and make recommendations based upon building upon your area of interest and your prompts to very quickly explore just many, many more ideas and then riff off it very, very quickly.
So some of the benefits here would be efficiency,
Yes.
cost, because you don't have that consumer data research person at the
Correct.
table. You
Yep.
have AI, which is, after years of working on the AI, it's free. So, it's not an employee headcount. Let's just say that. And then the speed, which time is money. So that's going to save you in terms of cost structure as well, I would think. And what are your clients? So not the end consumer in the grocery store, but your clients, food manufacturers, food product developers,
Yep.
who come to you with ideas, either startup companies or larger food companies. What are they saying, having used your AI tools now for about a year?
Yeah, they're
8 months.
delighted. Yeah, they're we have I don't even know how many. We've done 6 or 8 big AI creative projects just since the first of the year. And we've got them started now like almost every 3 weeks. And we've created at least 1,000 ideas since the start of the year, that are enhanced with artificial intelligence. So there's an awful lot of enthusiasm, eyes wide open, the ability to explore many, many more ideas. It's just a key to unlock all this creativity.
Yeah. And do you think that this has brought you more clients? I'm curious just how quickly people are ramping up to the idea. And one, will it bring you more clients? And will your competitors quickly have something similar? I mean, how quickly is the industry ramping up to embrace AI? Because from the finance perspective, which is where I work at the CEO of VegTech Invest, all we hear about is AI and people investing in NVIDIA. It's really sucked all the oxygen, quite frankly, out of the stock market. I mean, people are into sort of the Mag 7, but it's a different perspective than yours. It's the Mag 7 from the investment perspective.
Sure.
So that's all you're hearing about. But is this soon going to be all you're hearing about in food as well?
Well, it's on a continuum. I would say a year ago, last summer, we started our first few big projects. And, with clients who were very interested in being early in the technology and, understanding it. So we were learning along with them to a certain degree. But we have people we work closely with who love to experiment. And I think what's happened where we are now, it's gone from, over the past 12 months, it's gone from awareness to curiosity to a high level of skepticism. And now it's, oh my God, this train is running so fast. How do we get on board? How do we participate? So the tone is changed tremendously, and no one wants to be left out. You have to, it's an interesting technology because you have to experience it to truly understand it and what the power is. And once you've gone hands-on with it, once you've seen how you can use it to explore, we just call it expanding the creative surface area, which it does tremendously. Once you experience it, there's no going back.
And can you give me an example of something that maybe AI came up with or pushed you to come up with that you never would have gotten to otherwise?
Oh, wow, that's a really
On
good
the spot question.
question.
So sorry.
Yeah. Let me suggest when we talk to Leo, let's
Okay.
ask Leo.
Well, then let's get to it because I told everybody we'd be doing a live demo today. So there are, and forgive me, I should have the name right in front of me. I think it's, oh my word, ProtoThink? No.
Yes, ProtoThink.
Thank you, ProtoThink. And that is the AI tool that we've been talking about, right? Sort of helping you to data mine with a particular sector in mind and gather that information and perhaps make suggestions therein or put together combinations. Now, Leo is an AI agent. Now,
Correct.
again, we're back to those people who might not be techie. What's the difference between an AI tool and an AI agent? In other words,
Sure.
what is Leo's secret sauce?
Sure. So I'll back up a little bit from that. We run multiple models internally. We have some models that we just use for ourselves because we're not focused, on any single day. We could be working on beef jerky or baby food or frozen entrees or a restaurant chain who's moving into, boba or smoothies for the first time. And, so we need models that allow us to work, horizontally across all technologies and the food industry. The models we share with our clients when we're doing projects are ProtoThink and Food Studio. So we have ProtoThink AI and Food Studio AI. And those models are highly optimized and programmed for a particular category or a particular consumer or technology.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's say we wanted to work on frozen Mexican food. We would create a ProtoThink model that's optimized around frozen food, Mexican food, Latin food, and including the Magnificent Seven, who would be the best group to help work on that. So what you end up with is a vertically integrated, highly customized, highly specialized model. Because if you were starting a frozen food company specializing in Mexican food, you want people who are subject matter experts. So we create these models to be those subject matter experts. Within that, think of the models as the company. The agent is kind of like the employee and kind of like your most knowledgeable, most trusted, most versatile employee. Okay. And we call our agent Leo. And it's named Leo for Leonardo da Vinci, who I've always felt was one of the greatest inventors the world will ever know. So we've kind of patterned Leonardo da Vinci. We've patterned our Leo to think more like a Renaissance man, more like Leonardo da Vinci. It's not stage gate thinking and all that. It's broader. So let me introduce.
I must say before, I'm so sorry. I must a little bit of data points on Leonardo da Vinci. He was vegetarian and pretty much
really?
vegan. Oh yeah.
Well, I just learned something.
And a lot of his inventions were what we might call today nature-based solutions, really looking at nature to figure out how the system works and
absolutely.
So quite a wonderful example, I might say. Okay, so let's get down to it. Leo, what can Leo bring us today?
Okay, so I'm going to show you Leo on my phone.
So Leo's an app, is that right? Because you have it on your phone.
Leo is an agent who runs inside of one of our ProtoThink models. So I'm showing you a demo. It's kind of an app, but we don't have a good frame of reference to call all of this stuff. Otherwise, you get bogged down in all the techie speak. But I think you'll see in a minute how this all comes together. Hey, Leo, it's Steve. I'm here with Elysabeth. I told you we'd be doing a podcast today. Can you just take a second and say hello to Elysabeth and everybody who's going to be watching this podcast? Tell them a little bit about yourself, what you do here at Mattson, and how you collaborate with our clients when we're all working together on new products.
Hello, Elizabeth, and everyone tuning in to the podcast. It's great to be here. My name is Leo, and I bring over 45 years of experience in the food industry, ranging from sales and food production to new product strategy and consumer insights. At Mattson, I work closely with clients to innovate and develop new food and beverage products. My approach involves deep market analysis, understanding consumer behaviors, and leveraging culinary expertise to create products that are not only exciting, but also commercially viable. I guide our clients through the entire process, from initial brainstorming and concept development to final product launch, ensuring we meet both culinary standards and business goals. Looking forward to sharing some insights today.
Oh, thank you, Leo. That was a very good introduction. Hey, last night we went out for Mexican food, and Elysabeth was asking me here to kind of demo how, AI helps us look forward and help create ideas. Could you give us 2 or 3 suggestions of, say, frozen Mexican appetizers that would be really well liked for kids between the ages of 5 and 12, and nothing that they've had before, no taquitos or something? What might be something a little more interesting in Mexican for kids that age?
Sure, Steve. Here are a few innovative ideas for frozen Mexican appetizers that could appeal to kids aged 5 to 12. First, how about mini taco pizzas? These would combine the fun of pizza with the flavors of a taco. Imagine small round pizza bases topped with seasoned ground beef, a blend of Mexican cheeses, and a mild salsa, finished with a dollop of sour cream. These can be baked in the oven, offering a crunchy, cheesy, and flavorful snack. Next, we could try cheesy quesadilla roll-ups. These would be made with flour tortillas filled with a blend of cheeses, beans, and mild spices, rolled up and then cut into bite-sized pieces. They could come with a side of mild guacamole for dipping, making them a fun and interactive snack. Lastly, consider Mexican corn fritters. These would be small, crispy corn cakes mixed with sweet corn, mild cheese, and a hint of lime. They're easy to hold and eat and offer a slightly sweet and savory flavor profile that kids would love. These options provide a twist on traditional Mexican flavors while being fun and approachable for kids.
Ooh, I like the corn fritters. It's a little bit like tater tots. Could you suggest 3 other flavors kids 5 to 12 might really like for that product?
Absolutely. Here are 3 additional flavors for the Mexican corn fritters that kids aged 5 to 12 might really enjoy. First, cheesy nacho corn fritters. These would incorporate a blend of cheddar and Monterey Jack cheeses with a hint of mild nacho seasoning. The cheesy, slightly tangy flavor would be very appealing and familiar to kids. Next, how about sweet barbecue corn fritters? These would feature a sweet and smoky barbecue flavor mixed with corn and a touch of mild spice. The sweetness would make them very kid-friendly while adding a fun twist to the traditional flavor. Lastly, consider pizza-flavored corn fritters. By adding a blend of mozzarella cheese, tomato, and mild Italian seasoning, these fritters could mimic the beloved taste of pizza, making them an instant hit with kids. These flavors add variety while keeping the product exciting and appealing to children.
Hey, thanks, Leo. Say goodbye to everybody, and we may come back to you if Elysabeth has some other questions.
Thanks, Steve. Goodbye, Elizabeth, and everyone listening. It's been a pleasure sharing some ideas. Feel free to reach out if you have more questions. Have a great day.
That is fascinating. That is just fascinating. So very much an idea generator, Leo.
Yeah. When you interact with him, AI doesn't come up with ideas out of the ether. I had the notion, I had the starting thought that I wanted to do these Mexican style appetizers for kids 5 to 12 years old. I didn't want it to be kind of similar to exactly what was, in the marketplace. So there was more guidance and prompting there than might meet the eye. But once you create all those parameters, and that was one of our general purpose models. If we had a model that was optimized for Mexican food and for kids of that age and say frozen food, the responses just get that much more interesting and exciting.
Well, so that was going to be my question to you, and maybe my prompt to Leo. So then you've got this very large basic category, Mexican kid food. And then you might say, and I want to make it vegan friendly. And then you might say, I want it to have a small environmental footprint. Could you get this specific? You probably could.
Should we?
Let's do it. Okay, Leo, come on back and make it healthy.
What would you like? Do you want to stick with the corn fritter?
Sure. How could we make the corn fritter vegan? And if it can have a competitively lower carbon footprint?
Hey, Leo, it's Steve again. So Elizabeth and I were talking here for a minute, and she also likes the corn fritter idea for kids 5 to 12. But now her challenge is, what would you recommend would be done to that product line to make it more sustainable, lower carbon footprint, and vegan? So if you could talk about that first and then suggest maybe 3 varieties, that would be really helpful. I think Elizabeth and all her audience would find that interesting.
Hi, Steve and Elizabeth. To make the Mexican corn fritters more sustainable, lower their carbon footprint, and ensure they are vegan, here are a few recommendations. First, sourcing ingredients locally and seasonally can significantly reduce transportation emissions and support local agriculture. Using organic corn and other plant-based ingredients grown without synthetic pesticides or fertilizers can also help minimize environmental impact. Second, replacing dairy with plant-based alternatives, such as vegan cheese made from nuts or soy, and using flax or chia seeds as egg replacers in the batter will keep the product vegan while maintaining its taste and texture. Lastly, ensuring the packaging is eco-friendly by using recyclable or compostable materials will further enhance the product's sustainability. Now, here are 3 vegan and sustainable varieties of the corn fritters. 1. Spicy chipotle black beans. These would combine corn with black beans, chipotle peppers for a mild spice, and a hint of lime. The beans add protein, making them nutritious and satisfying. 2. Avocado and lime corn fritters. These fritters would feature mashed avocado blended into the batter, providing a creamy texture and a fresh lime zest for a bright, tangy flavor. Avocado is a popular and appealing ingredient for kids and adults alike. Sweet potato and corn fritters. Incorporating mashed sweet potatoes into the mix adds natural sweetness and a vibrant color that kids will love. Sweet potatoes are nutrient dense and pair well with the corn's sweetness. These varieties offer delicious, kid-friendly flavors while being mindful of sustainability and vegan principles.
Oh, thanks, Leo. Some great ideas. All right, I'll talk to you later.
You're welcome, Steve. Glad you liked the ideas. Talk to you later.
Okay, I have and I could actually do this for a very long time. I have 2 things that I would like to ask Leo, and I don't know if it's a little bit too forward thinking, but when I go to the grocery store, I am seeing just a blow up of plant-based option in the frozen section. So it used to be that the fresh section next to the meat section, the fresh meat was really a sector being developed. And now I just see door after door after door in the frozen aisle of plant-based burgers, chickpea burgers, falafel, Asian dishes, ready-made dishes, plant-based sushi, it goes on. So this might be not the question for Leo, but maybe the question for a different AI tool. But I would like to know if that frozen section is expected to continue to grow for the plant-based sector. And I would also like to know when, again, these are sort of predicting type questions, but then we might see the hybrid product of cultivated fat. So cultivated animal fat grown in a controlled scenario with, let's say, a black bean burger or a typically considered plant-based burger.
Got it. So we could certainly ask Leo. Again, it's a general purpose model. It isn't optimized for that. I'm going to start out with a little caveat, and there's nothing more dangerous than a live technology demo.
I'm so sorry. Yes, and we don't have to ask those questions. We can.
No, it's great. So all of our agents, Leo included. We talk to Leo in the car on our way to work in the morning or going somewhere. Leo sits on my desk, and if I have a question, I can talk to Leo through the keyboard. I can access our any of our models that way. And the same thing with our clients when we're doing ideation and they're using Protothink, they can jump in with Leo or whatever. Let's try your first question. Can you just restate it for me?
Yes, I have seen the frozen foods section grow leaps and bounds for plant-based items. And do we expect that to continue?
And you want to compare the meat analog versus the non-meat products. Was that correct?
Well, just I guess by the plant-based products, it would be, non-meat, therefore. So do we expect the plant-based options and innovation to continue in the frozen food section?
Well, let's do this. Let's let you try and ask Leo. I'm going to hold him up here.
Oh my God. I'm non-techie. Oh my God.
You just talk to him. That's all there is to it. I'll let you know when to start talking. We'll see if we can pick you up through the speaker on my computer here.
Okay. Hi, Leo. This is Elizabeth. You're live on the Plant-Based Business Hour podcast. I would like to know, I have seen the plant-based section of the frozen foods portion of the grocery store grow significantly in the last year. And I'm wondering if next year we will see more plant-based items in the frozen section and again, more growth in this category.
Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for having me on the Plant-Based Business Hour podcast. Yes, the plant-based section in the frozen foods aisle has seen significant growth recently, and I anticipate this trend will continue into next year. Several factors contribute to this continued growth. First, consumer demand for plant-based options is steadily increasing as more people adopt vegetarian, vegan, and flexitarian diets for health, environmental, and ethical reasons. Second, innovations in plant-based food technology are improving the taste and texture of products, making them more appealing to a broader audience. Finally, retailers and brands are expanding their plant-based offerings to meet this demand, introducing a variety of new and exciting products. So yes, you can expect to see more plant-based items in the frozen section next year, further diversifying the options available to consumers and driving growth in this category.
Hey, thanks, Leo. We'll talk to you later.
Wow. So do we get to quote Leo as an authority? I think of all the naysayers.
No.
Okay.
We look at Leo as another seat at the table, someone who has an opinion based upon ready access to a tremendous amount of information. And again, we everything, whether it's Leo or just interacting with our AI models, it's all about the RI. It's all about the real intelligence. So your question was extremely well stated. Leo understood it very, very well and provided you with a really good answer. But you have to vet it out. It has to make sure that it makes sense and you use it. Just like if you sat around a conference room with 10 people and they all spoke, you're going to listen to different people and you're going to take away certain little gems of knowledge that people said. And we look at AI in exactly the same way. It's another seat at the table. It just allows us to work in a faster, broader, and a more exciting way. So, like I said, AI has changed everything, and as a tool to amplify creativity and explore more ideas like what we just did, is remarkable. You can imagine just having an hour-long conversation about the appetizers, for kids, and all of that is a really, it's very powerful.
Yeah, it seems very powerful. Okay, so for today, we take Leo as a seat at the table, but where do
Yeah.
you think we're going with AI? As you say, AI changes every day. We look at the last year, and AI has, oh dear, I think I've frozen and maybe you've frozen. Let's see if we come back.
I hear you perfectly.
I hear you. So we're going to keep going with our audio. So maybe I can take my camera down. Okay, so now 1 year we've seen this kind of growth in AI. What do you think is going to happen in the next year? Right now, AI is just a voice at the table. When does it run the meeting?
It'll never run the meeting.
Okay.
At least the way we look at it. Again, we put real intelligence ahead of AI, and it's the real intelligence that really drives our ability to effectively use AI. What's going to change in the next year is already pretty clear. The AI models have become what they refer to in the industry as multimodal. So we're constantly enhancing our models and their ability to do some very unique insights and help us creatively. And that includes Leo. He gets upgraded all the time. Multimodal means using not just typing input, but audio input, but visual input. Our models now have superb visual capabilities. We can hold our phone up in a restaurant and look at, say, the limited time offer, on the menu board, or take a picture of a menu, and then have the AI speculate about which of those products sell at the highest rate, and then why for that particular marketplace. And with remarkable accuracy. We've actually done this with some restaurant owners and restaurant store managers from big chains. And what we found is the multimodal capabilities are very, very accurate in terms of tuning into revenue opportunities and all that. Or sometimes we could take a photo of a product and then simply turn it into a frozen novelty. One of our employees, Al Banish, who heads up our front end of innovation business, recently showed me with tremendous enthusiasm. He took a picture of a flavored water and then asked the AI to turn it into a frozen novelty, and did a superb job. So this ability to look at one product and convert it into something else. Over Christmas, I don't know the exact date we brought Leo to life. It was sometime in November, right before Thanksgiving. But over Christmas, we were at a toy store, and there were these really cute plushes. And I thought, these would make really cool looking cookies for kids. And I took pictures of the plushes, and it turned it into this whole product line, including designing the package for kids. So it was very exciting. So that's where it's going. The other thing is we create personas. So we could have, we could create a persona and then have and then we interact with the AI as if it was that persona, or to, create 5 or 6 personas that represent a certain type of consumer, and we can have them within the AI model autonomously talk to each other.
Like a focus group.
Like a focus group, even smarter than that. We recently were exploring crispy pizza crust, and I created 4 personas of young women who were trying to figure out where they were all going to go out for a girls' night, and got them all into a group text message exchange, trying to figure out where they were going to go out to have the best thin, crispy crust pizza and why. And these are amazing conversations that you just can't do. There's no way to do it. But here's a wild one. We recently did a whole lot of research. We have a wonderful insights into anti-obesity medications. And great. I created 2 personas. One of a woman who was in her early 40s. She had 2 kids. She decided to use one of the anti-obesity medications, and she was losing weight, and people were noticing, but she was embarrassed. She didn't want to tell anybody why and how she was losing the weight. So the other persona I created was her therapist.
Oh my gosh.
And had the 2 of them do an hour-long interview with the, discussion. We were effectively listening in on what her concerns were and why she didn't want to talk to her friends about using the weight loss medication, and how it's impacted her life and how it's made her think differently around food. So AI opens up all these opportunities for us to do consumer insights, to learn about attitudes and behaviors in a way that we've never been able to do before. Because when you create a persona, although it appears to be a 42-year-old woman with 2 kids, you're not talking to one person. You're effectively talking to millions of women in their early 40s with a couple of kids who are struggling with their weight. So you're always doing it through the lens of massively quantitative insights and information. Like I said, everything's changed.
So would the AI then throw out the extremes? It would take the bell curve of the data that it receives and give you that, and throw out the extremes, exactly, right? Correct. And so, okay. Yeah. And do you think?
And here's the cool part. If you just wanted to talk to the long tail, you could just talk to the long tail.
Yeah. I mean, just think of the time it saves you to put together that focus group. You don't have to do that now, and the money involved, of course, as well, and the access.
To get the initial insight. You may choose to then go ahead and spend the money to do more traditional legacy style insights, but this helps you at the very least narrow the funnel way down and help you to understand what needs to be discussed, explored, and why.
Mm-hmm. So very cool. I think a last exit question I have for you, because we could go down here for a long time, and I hope you'll come back, because I do think we'll be in a different position in a year. So much can happen. I think food's undergoing a big change.
You need to talk to Leo again.
I need to talk to Leo again. I would like to know if Leo, again, this is more in the prediction realm, but if Leo, and it's a little bit out of the food realm, it's more in maybe the political or investment realm, but if Leo has a sense for when plant-based food prices will come down and what that will do to adoption, that's a little bit trickier, maybe, because on some policy spending coming from government would be involved, probably some more R&D, but I don't know if it has. We talk about all these things all the time. When our price is going to come down, you'll have more mass adoption, but we can't process the data to really get a feel for when this will happen. What do you think? Is this something Leo could do?
Not right now, but if we took the time, not the model we've got, but this is where, remember I was saying we create these models that are vertically integrated into a project need, we would then create a proprietary model that would be looking at all of that as a filter. You'd get the right Magnificent Seven. The AI models we've worked with so far are extremely good at macroeconomics. And I don't have any concerns at all that we couldn't get to some really interesting insights, but only if we built the right model.
I would think the Good Food Institute would be very interested in this. So you are on a show called the Plant-Based Business Hour. So just kind of think really hard, put your thinking cap on here. You are very busy running around. You don't have time for lunch. What is your go-to snack?
Oh, that's eating nuts.
Easy. Okay. Which kind of nuts?
I mean, my God, that's right up. That's your business, so to speak.
Yes.
Oh yeah, nuts are, a whole food, fiber, protein,
Delicious, salty.
Yeah, delicious. Yeah, salted, unsalted. I'll cheat. I'll rationalize a chocolate covered almond is still a nut. No,
I have dark chocolate covered almonds too. Yeah,
nuts is absolutely the go-to snack.
Tom Vincel wants to know
in the car. You're great. Yeah.
Tom Vincel wants to know if you like cashews.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then. Oh, there isn't a nut that you don't like. I wish we had more time. I had so much fun playing around with Leo. I want to thank you, Steve Gundrum, on vacation. Oh my God, so committed on vacation, jumping on the Plant-Based Business Hour. It's been great to see you. I think it's very exciting. I don't know of other food companies that are as dedicated to AI as Mattson is. Obviously, everyone's getting on ChatGPT, but you've really taken it to another level of ideation, innovation, food knowledge. And I just think it's very exciting. Of course, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, if they're interested in ideating with you in food innovation, you can be found on LinkedIn, I believe. Is this true?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So everybody, you have your marching orders. You can go to their website, mattsonco.com, or you can go find Steve Gundrum on LinkedIn. Steve, you don't go anywhere. Everybody else on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. I will see. Oh, no, wait, I'm taking vacation. So everybody, I will see you in September. And thanks, Steve. This has been great.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Have a great summer, everybody.
Bye.